Hey, this is Notser, and we're in the Tier 9 French battleship Alsace on the map Sea of Fortune. As far as my build is concerned, auxiliary armament, lower chance of flood and fire, improved accuracy, lower fire and flood duration, concealment, improved rate of fire for my commander, preventative maintenance, expert marksman, adrenaline rush, superintendent, and concealment. It's a pretty standard concealment build. I've seen players go secondary. I just don't have the commander, in my opinion. I value concealment too much to drop it, so therefore I need to get 4 more points for advanced firing training, yada yada yada. I do plan to eventually go that build, but I'm still leveling my commander. This is the French campaign commander, so I do benefit from adrenaline rush and expert marksman. Both of those skills are improved, and you really notice it. It's really nice, and hopefully this game is entertaining. Now, I initially started off with a pretty neutral positioning between A and B. I was going to go B if my teammates were successful pushing forward. Clearly the friendly was not. Since A point was successful and it does look like the enemy team is not going there, it's actually a pretty viable strategy. And, oh, poor innocent Gearing. He pulled a Notser, and we're able to land a couple shells, do a little bit of damage, but he conceals himself with smoke. Most of the enemy team going for BC. Now, there's a lot of players out there that would just, give up. Did you just see that? That North Carolina just citadeled me. I think he had one single shell make contact, and it did 13,000 damage. And as you can see, I was looking around like, what the hell just happened to me? There's nothing on the audio that would lead me to believe that that occurred, but clearly it did. That's a lot of damage for a single shell to do to a ship. So I was like, yeah, okay. All right. If that's what you want, North Carolina, that's what you're gonna get. And I need to try and angle, of course. I don't want to take another one. We send basically the same sort of shells towards them, a little bit smaller of course, and they do nothing. Now I did drop the speed quickly, knowing that he was going to fire, and was able to avoid most of the shells. That's the nice thing about speed boost. It doesn't only improve your acceleration, it just improves the engine responsiveness. We're able to shove in some shells on that enemy Gearing, take him out. That felt great, especially as a battleship. I know those guys love to go after me. Obviously, if I was in the destroyer, I would be extremely upset, because I would say, well, that's total BS that your shells were that accurate and were able to do that kind of damage to me. I'm your counter. But as we stand right now, I'm all for it. Enemy cruiser showing a perfect broadside. I'm trying to get the shell right before the island gets in the way and blocks it. Let the one fire burn. We're completely fine. And if you're not familiar, most French battleships do not have an aircraft. I do, and we get a citadel. Nice. Yes. The Tier 9 Alsace has the aircraft, even in the upgraded hull variant. I believe the Tier 8 has an aircraft, but not in the upgraded. And I think there's one more. I can't put my finger on which one it is. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but the aircraft is nice when you're around islands and you want to try and detect around it. I can't choose the scout aircraft. This is the only aircraft that they will allow equipped to it. So you got to make the best of what is given to you. Clearly there's no aircraft carrier, so I don't need to use it to protect myself. I'm going to reserve the right to use it to sort of predict and infer where the enemy is, and then confirm that visually. Enemy North Carolina, he sailed to the island, and he was basically going to hide there. And I figured friendly Missouri is going to go on the right flank. I'm going to go on the left flank. He's going to go down very quickly. We got friendly destroyers that torpedo the crap out of him. I'm taking tons of damage because I was detected. But we're now in cover behind the island, and it's not a bad position. Enemy team has 2 bases to our 1, but as far as ships are concerned, we're completely equal. So it's all on the players and the choices they make. Please do not overreact. When your team only has 1 base, that's okay. You can make it up. You can't make up a deficit if you're dead. So I just move forward, try and get a little bit of damage on the enemy battleship. Not as successful as I would like. There is a Loyang out there, and it is a threat, and oh, we got so lucky how close this torpedo comes. So lucky. Enemy Shimakaze. I would love to kill the Shimakaze. Get over here, get over here. Of course, we miss everything. Back gun's still rotating. Secondaries are actually in range to hit the target. I don't know if we'll actually hit the target, though, just because it's the nature of secondaries. And then also the Z-52, the German Tier 10. He's out in the open too. So I'm just reading this as this gap right here in front of me. Torpedoes, torpedoes, torpedoes. So I got to be very careful. I don't have speed boost, so I don't have anything to boost me or slow me down quickly. And I was set up, yep. Torpedoes, that's a 4-send. So that is the Z-52. Fire on the guy. Actually looks pretty accurate. Yep. I feel for that guy. I expect any second now we're going to be having a message in all chat exclaiming the total broken design of AP shells from a battleship towards the up. Here we go. Hey, doing 13,000 against a destroyer is completely fair. There's nothing wrong with that design. Clearly he didn't like that, and I don't blame him. It feels really bad. Not only was he German, but he was also aligned very well with the direction that my shells were going. Honestly, I think that any destroyer, the shells would stick, just the way they flew and his angling. But it's made even worse by the German size and the, Germans like it big, right? That's all we're saying. They like them really big, thick. Battleships are thick. Their destroyers are thick. The cruisers are honestly, they're thick. We're just going to keep that line of thinking. I know what you're saying. They're not thick. They're actually good. They're a small size. Yeah, I know. We take a bunch of fire damage. So I think I made maybe a mistake in that I used my damage control on, I think, a single fire, if I'm remembering correctly. And then I got 2 fires from the secondaries that are going off from the enemy counterpart, right? The Friedrich der Grosse and the Alsace. Those 2 in particular can really bring the secondaries, and we got to be careful anytime we're around that stuff. But the Cyclone has taken hold. The enemy team is in a commanding lead because they've had 2 bases to R1, and here comes some more torpedoes. Thankfully, with the speed boost and my interest to get over to the Friedrich der Grosse and take him out, I didn't even have it aimed on him. I was firing on the target behind him, but regardless, it doesn't really matter at that range. Who cares about accuracy towards that target? And he returns the favor with 16,000. I did 22. And I set him on fire. And if I could have killed him, I could have had 16,000 more health. But instead, we don't. And I just let the secondaries combine with my fire on the target kill him. We are detected by radar, so I would assume there's either the Dmitry Donskoy or the Des Moines in range to use it. So if anyone's not familiar, radar during the Cyclone increases the vision range of that target, and only that target. Now, his teammates can see that there are enemy red ships in that area moving around, but they can't visually fire on it and benefit from that accuracy boost. So only that Des Moines has the benefit of that accuracy boost during the radar. Obviously, he's hiding behind an island. He's using it for information. Friendly, in his instance, the Loyang probably was using it to send torpedoes. And once he sent them, he's going to duck back into cover. So there's 2 enemy ships behind that island. We've got a really nice concerted effort going on this flank. Enemy Iowa is perfectly broadside, and he is naked. So let's go send him to that port to get some clothes on. Gosh. Kids, look away whenever you see a naked ship. But seriously, use camo. Camo is your friend. Camo is good. But we dispatched him very quickly. And as a team, this is how you deal with Cyclone. You have to move at the same rate, so whenever you run across an enemy, it's 2, 3 to 1. You don't want to go 1 by 1 by 1, because that allows the enemy to potentially pick you off one at a time and not benefit from the actual number game that is in this direct area. I mean, look at it. We got a Missouri, friendly DDs, myself. It should be an easy victory in this scenario. And I'm just trying to put myself in position to maybe fire on the Loyang. Friendlies are taking advantage of this. And the island is still in my way. I still can't engage them, which I would love to do. Please, island, get out of the way. I'm serious. And I see, hey, friendlies are doing a great job. And I don't trust them to kill the guy, so I fire my gun. I still haven't been detected. The Missouri is body spotting the Des Moines, so the Des Moines is reacting 100% to what this Missouri is doing. Now, he could kind of infer that there's a big gun that was pushing that flank too when he saw the Loyang take it. So what I decided to do is to sandwich this guy. Missouri's going to go on the right. I'm going to go on the left. I'm going to set up my guns, obviously, as a preemptive fire. Now, I do have 380 millimeter guns. This is the worst possible scenario for these guns. The cruiser can get into a bow position, and I can't overmatch. I should fire at the guns or the superstructure. But you'll note, I was hoping that he would remain a little bit more angled, so I actually missed my location completely. But I do adjust it, and I aim for the guns, trying to break them. But we get a little bit of damage on the target. Teammates are doing a good job. My secondaries immediately set him on fire, and the target's taken out completely. And that's sort of a textbook engagement. Didn't allow him to take advantage of his strengths. We worked together to set him in a position where he just couldn't do anything. He couldn't possibly deal with that. And it's great. So, a game where we were down by 400 points during Cyclone, my team definitely showed this is how it's done. You stick together, you come across the enemy, you have the numbers advantage. You should be able to take them all out without losing a single ship if you play it that way. And I'm just really happy that in a random battle of all things, my team seemed to be all in on working together, and it feels great whenever that occurs, right? So the friendly Missouri is trying to capture B. The enemy Iowa was broadside, firing on him at B. Friendly Missouri takes him out. The gearing torpedoes take out the target. I'm going to head for A. Teammates are going for B. I expect there to be, the 2 cruisers at A point. And hopefully they are broadside to my ship, and I can engage them and wipe them out. I really love this ship. Alsace is a fantastic Tier 9 battleship. The gun caliber is a weak point, but the French have great gun velocity that if the target is broadside and they're not offering angled armor, it really doesn't matter. You should have a lot of success doing just that, and it feels wonderful to be presented with the broadside of a target. We've got the enemy Hindenburg, we've got the Dmitry Donskoy. I decided to go after the lower of the 2. I just like to focus targets down and not give them an opportunity. Maybe if I was more interested in damage, I would fire at the Dmitry Donskoy, but that has the potential of leaving 2 targets up that could threaten a teammate. So in my strategic thinking, I probably set myself up to miss out on this enemy Donskoy. Right, he has torpedoes and he just sent them, but he's going to avoid me. He doesn't want to engage me. I'm detected by his aircraft. He's going to try and engage a target that he has a better advantage against, and that's probably the friendly cruiser that's really low health in front of him. So I'm not going to get another chance. I'm trying desperately to rotate around this island so I can fire on him. But I don't know that that's going to happen. And the friendly cruiser misses. He's able to survive somehow, and I think he has his broadside with AP. He sends out his French torpedoes, and it doesn't really matter that you only have 1 set. Point blank is point blank. So he takes out the target, and that's the game, and that was really exciting. We did 126,000 damage, 4 citadels, 4 ships killed. And yeah, that cruiser just barely beat me on points, and obviously I'm going to compliment him. Great game, really enjoyable. Working together as a team with Cyclone, you really feel the difference between a team that's just all over the map. It was really fun. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.